In today's video, I'm going to be naming you guys 6 reasons why you should consider becoming an LPN. Stay tuned. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are already part of the family, for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Kira Selena, and this is my channel, Nursing with Key, where I mainly make nursing-related videos, but I also started incorporating a bit of beauty and hair. So if you are into those things, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you won't miss another video from me again. So I recently posted a poll with 3 different video options, and this video was one of them, why you should consider becoming an LPN. And most of you voted for that one. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Don't want to make this video too long, so let's just get right into it. Reasons why you should consider becoming an LPN. So the first thing I want to talk about is the length of the program. So generally speaking, I'm gonna talk directly to my American viewers because I know most of you guys are American. I'm Canadian, like I say in almost every video, but when it comes to the length of the program in the States, I know that, this can vary depending on where you come from, but for the most part, the LPN program is about 1 year, so about 12 months, whereas the RN program is double that time, is 2 years. And that is one reason why you may want to consider becoming an LPN, just because the length of the program is a little bit shorter. And even if you live in Canada like I do, the LPN program is obviously way less time than the well, not way less time, but less time than the BSN program. You guys know that here in Canada, there's only one province that has the ADN program. In all the other provinces, you are required to have a bachelor's in science of nursing or bachelor in nursing to be a registered nurse. And the bachelor program is 4 years, whereas the LPN program here in Canada is 2 years. So whether you're from Canada or the States, usually the RN program is double the length of the LPN program, and that is one reason why you may want to consider. The second one I want to talk about, and this might not relate to you, this is very general, right? So I'm speaking very generally. Like I said, this might not relate to you, and this might not be the case where you live, but for the most part, based on what I have seen and based on what I have heard, the LPN program is a lot easier, or maybe a little easier to get in than the RN program. And based on where I live, the reason for that is because there's a lot more LPN openings than RN openings, not in terms of jobs, but in terms of school. So a lot of LPN schools or schools that offer the LPN program will have different groups starting at different times during the year. So you might have one group starting in the spring, or a couple groups actually starting in the spring, a couple groups starting in the fall, and then winter and summer. Whereas for the RN program where I live, if we're talking about associate's degrees, because I live in the province that offers the associates, the LPN program is offered once a year. So if you do not get in for the fall session, you have to wait till the following fall session. So it's a lot easier to get into the LPN program just because there's a lot more openings than the RN program. Another reason is the prerequisites. Depending on where you live, you may need some prerequisites. I don't really think I needed much prerequisites. I think I just needed a certain grade in biology or a certain grade in physics or something, and I did both in high school. So I just needed that, and I needed to write an entrance exam, and that was it. Whereas for the RN program, there's a lot more prerequisites that you need to take, and the prerequisites depend on where you come from. Here, I think you need to do a certain level of math, the highest level of high school math, and you have to have a certain grade in it. I don't know what the grade is, but I'm pretty sure it might be over 80. And then you have to have your chemistry. So grade 11 chemistry for us in Canada, because, well, not for us in Canada, in my province, because we do not have grade 12. So the highest chemistry would be grade 11 chemistry, and then grade 11 math, and you have to have, I think, like an 80 or something to get in, whereas you don't really have to do that for LPN school, which brings me back to my previous point, which is it's a lot easier to get into. Now, this one is for those of you who have been trying to get into the RN program and have not been able to. Like I said, the RN program is very competitive. And if the RN programs where you live are anything like where I live, like I previously explained, the program is offered once a year. So if you tried to get in and you did not get in, if you tried to get into multiple schools and you didn't get in, but you have all your prerequisites and stuff already, you can use the LPN as a stepping stone. Like I said, the LPN program is a year, and if you're gonna have to wait a year before you can reapply, you might as well just get your LPN during that year, and then you can get into a bridge program and do your extra year to get into your your RN license. So it really comes down to the same thing, because the RN program is 2 years, but like I said, if you have to wait a year before you can try again to potentially get in, you might as well just use that year and get into the LPN program, and then try to get into a bridge program later on, and pretty much finish in the same amount of time. So yeah, that's another one. Another one is that you could get good nursing experience before becoming an RN. So I know some of you guys, like I said, you can use the LPN as a stepping stone. So you can get your LPN and then just hop right into the RN program if you're able to do that. But if you want to work a little bit before becoming an RN, it will give you like a good solid foundation to work with once you get into the RN program. Now, I'm not saying that the RN program is going to be completely, it's going to be just a breeze for you because you're an LPN, because I have a nurse friend on here, Vanessa. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, check it out. Her name is Vanessa. And in one of her videos, I remember her saying that she thought the RN program was going to be a breeze for her because she had 6 years of LPN experience, and that wasn't the case. However, in my opinion, I've never done the RN program, but just by using common sense, I would expect for it to be slightly easier for you than it would be for somebody who has absolutely no nursing experience, because you're already familiar with a lot of things. So pharmacology will be a lot easier for you. You are already familiar with nursing skills. You're already familiar with IVs. You're already familiar with a lot of things. So coming in with LPN experience might not make the program easy for you, but it should make it slightly easier. Like I said, in my personal opinion, I would expect for it to be easier for somebody who has LPN experience as opposed to somebody who has no nursing experience at all. And lastly, this kind of goes with one of the first tips, but you can make good money while going to nursing school, right? So let's say you have rent to pay, you have all these different responsibilities, and you're working a regular job where you're making minimum wage. Well, if you become an LPN, you're most likely going to be making more than double what you were making on minimum wage. And if you are able to push through your LPN program and still survive making minimum wage, then when you do decide to go for the LPN program, for the RN program, if you're making more than double what you were making, when you were making minimum wage, then that means you can work half the time, still survive, and still, take care of your responsibilities while you're in RN school, if that makes any sense. So let me just break it down. If you're making, let's say you're making $10 an hour, and you're still able to, manage, pay the things that you have to pay or whatever, and you're able to push through LPN school working on minimum wage, and then you graduate as an LPN and you start making $20 an hour. I'm making more than $20 an hour, so I know that it's possible for you to make over $20 an hour as a new grad LPN, but obviously this depends on where you work. But even if you're making about $18 an hour, which is the lowest I've heard for LPNs, you can still work. You're almost making double what you were making when you were making $10. So if you had to work, let's say you had to work 5 days a week to pay your rent, you can maybe work 2 or 3 days a week and still survive while you're getting your last year of RN school done. So that's another really good thing. And that means that if you have to work less, or if you don't have to work as much, then that gives you more time to study. And trust me, you're gonna need that time to study. LPN school was challenging, so I know RN school is challenging, and you are going to need that time to focus on your books. All right, guys, so that is it for my tips. If any of you are LPNs and you guys want to share some insight or some other reasons that I forgot, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell as usual. And I really hope to see you in my next video. Goodbye.